Yeah, hello, this is Dave from cheapbooks.com playing World of Tanks. This is a review of the tech tree. I'm going to go through very quickly, and I'm going to be talking about the premium tanks. And I'm going to explain to you what I think of each one of the premium tanks that might help you make a decision when you buy one. This is from Tech Tree 9.13. I do own all of the premium tanks in the tech tree. So we're going to start with the American tanks. You've got here the T2 Light, the Locust, the T26E4, the T34. Now, the T2 Light, it's a fast tank. It's got a high top speed. I really don't particularly enjoy playing this tank. I think this one is an autoloader. Yeah, this one's an autoloader, but the shots are not like, it's not like the, what is it, the T2 car or the whatever that car is. The shots, the aim is horrible. That's basically what it is. So it's nice to have an autoloader, but the shots go all over the place. Even when you're close to the enemy tanks, the shots just fire wild. So I'm not that crazy about the T2 Light. The Locust is a cool tank. It's also a reasonably fast tank. It's got a better view range. The view range is you could see it's 330 compared to 260. It's a lot better. I like the Locust. It's a cute little tank. I have run out of rounds before with the Locust. I have a problem with the Locust in that I don't think it has enough ammunition. So that's one of the things that I don't like about this tank. It is a tank you have to hide in. You're going to go up against higher tiers. So it's very important to stay hidden in bushes and things like that. Now we can move on to the T26, the T26E4. This was actually probably the first premium tank I ever bought, and the reason why is because it's less expensive than the other Tier 8 tanks. It's actually a really cool tank. When I started, I did very poorly. I had a 38% win rate. Again, this was the first 2 weeks I was playing the game. I've gotten it up to like 49%. It has an awesome gun on it. It's got great armor. There's a lot of people that can't penetrate it. It's not perfect. It's a medium tank. It's not a fast medium tank. It's a moderate speed. It is fun to play. I do like playing it. However, I did not like it that much at first. It took a while for me to really get used to playing it. And then you got the T34. I love the T34. There's advantages to the T34. Number one, the gun is very powerful. You've got a very high penetrating gun, which will be, you can play against Tier 10 tanks. It's not going to kill every Tier 10 tank, but you can penetrate a lot, especially if you use the gold rounds and the high explosive rounds. The turret is very, very strong. You could call it indestructible. So when you go into battle, as long as only your turret is showing, it's very difficult for other people to penetrate it. The bottom, however, is much more delicate. So you have to be careful. You could see the turret armor 279. It's very high. So you can actually play against Tier 10 tanks with this tank, and you will get Tier 10 battles with this tank. It is rather slow, and it's a lot like the T30. The T30 is an awesome tank. When you get into the T30, you're going to like the fact that you've been playing the T34. It's also a lot like the T32 and the T29. There's a lot of people that will tell you that the T29 is one of the best tanks in the game. So I do like the T34, and I do make a lot of money with the T34. Okay, so we'll move on to the UK. The Matilda BP. There's a Russian tank called the Matilda, which is the Matilda 4. They're pretty much identical. They're not that much different. They've got like a 4-second reload time. They've got similar armor, similar speed. With these tanks, I get a lot of 6-kill games because they're slow, they got a fast gun, they've got good armor. By the time you get to battle, the enemy's been spotted, you just start aiming and shooting, and I kill a lot of tanks. The Excelsior, I seem to recall it's a rather fast tank, but it's got a weak gun and weak armor, so I don't really get good games. In fact, I think I've got a really low win rate with this tank, like 30% or some ridiculously low amount. The AT-15A, I love this tank. It's got a fast gun on it. Not a fast tank. It's got decent armor. The fast gun is really cool. There's a video where I'm fighting against two tanks, and they pop out one at a time. It's like a Panzer Mutz and another Tier 8. There were like two Tier 8 tanks, and one comes out, I shoot at him. Another comes out, I shoot at him. Because they've got the 8-second reload, and I had the 4-second reload. So they were just coming out, and I was just nailing them and nailing them and nailing them. I love playing these AT tanks. When I first got the AT2, I thought, oh my god, I'm going to hate playing it, but I actually love playing them, and I look forward to playing the rest of these AT tanks. I just got the AT8 today, which is why my combat experience is so low. Okay, so we'll move on. I've got the Skoda T40, haven't had it that long. It's just a regular tank. It's like a Chinook Kai type of thing. That's the way it drives. It drives like the Skoda, etc. Nothing special about it. So we'll move to the Russians. The T-127, I seem to recall that I actually like this tank. The Valentine II, I love to play the Valentine II. This is another tank where I get a lot of 6-kill games. It's got great armor, it's a moderate speed, and it's got a good gun on it. Like the Matilda IV, I get a lot of 6-kill games with the Matilda IV. I love the Matilda IV. I would say if you're looking for a cheap tank within this price range, the Matilda IV is the one that I would buy. The Churchill III, I like the Churchill series of tanks. They can be a real pain in the butt, but they've got great armor. They've got a fast-firing gun. They're a slow speed, but again, when you get into battle, the enemy's already been spotted. They've been weakened. You've got a fast-firing gun. I get a lot of 5 or 6 kill games with the Churchill series of tanks. The SU-100Y. I got a 7-kill game with this tank because you can one-shot so many tanks. It does like 700 damage or some crazy amount of damage. So as long as you can aim, it takes a while to aim, but once you're aimed in, you do a lot of damage and you hide. And it's good for playing in a city where you know the enemy's reloading, you pop around the corner, you bam them, you hopefully one-shot them, and then you hide. So in the city it's good, and out in the open, long range it's good also, but it does have that long aim time. It's a big tank. It's almost as big as a TOG. So it is quite a big tank. You know what? I do have the TOG. I didn't see it in the British tech tree because it's gone from the tech tree, but we'll talk about that later. It's a big tank, but it's also an easy target. This tank, I like this style of tank. It's fun to play. I seem to recall that the gun fires rather quickly. It looks like maybe 8 or 9 seconds, not that fast. But I do like to play these tanks because they're very mobile and you can go around the field very quickly. We're talking about the SU-122-44. And at first I didn't like the SU-100 and the SU-85, but once I learned to like them, I really like to play it. I'm up to the ISU-152, and I do play it with the derp guns because I want to be able to pop around the corner, blast somebody with a shot that does like 700 damage, and you just knock them out and they can't fire back. The IS-6 is one of the first tanks I ever bought, probably the first 2 weeks I was playing the game. It's a great all-around tank. If you want a Tier 8 tank and you're really not sure what to get, this should be one of your #1 choices. The T-34 is a little bit slow, but the IS-6 is a little bit faster. If you want the protection, you probably want the T-34. If you want the speed, you're going to like the IS-6. And the IS-6 is going to prepare you for tanks like the IS-3, and the T-10 and the IS-7 and the Chinese heavy tanks like the 110, the 112, and the WZ. It's going to be a similar playing style. The turret armor is weak, but the deflection is really good. It's a really cool tank, and it's got that shape, the triangular shape to it, which is going to bounce a lot of shells. I think I got one of my highest damage games, like 5,700 damage, using this tank. The T-54 Mod 1, I haven't had it in a long time. It's a medium tank. It's fast. I'm not that crazy about it yet. I prefer other medium tanks in Tier 8, but it's too early for me to make a decision on that tank. So the French tanks, the low-tier French tanks are not that great, but the upper-tier French tanks are really good. The CDC, I have not had it very long, but it's basically like the FCM 50T, but I think it has weaker armor. It's a really fast tank, and if you like playing fast tanks, In Tier 8, it's difficult to find a fast tank. This is one of the tanks that's going to do it. And I actually seem to recall it's got a pretty good gun on it. The FCM50T, one of the first tanks I ever bought, probably the first 2 weeks I was playing the game. I love the FCM50T. It's fast. It's a heavy tank, but you should consider it to be more like a well-protected medium tank. It's really cool. I got a lot of great games out of it. The M4A1 is kind of like a Sherman-style tank. If you like the M4 and the T1 Heavy, you're going to like this tank. I haven't had it very long. It's got, I guess a 4-second... You know what? I don't see the reload. It's... Okay, the reload is... Oh, it's got a slow rate of fire. It doesn't fire that often. Probably 8 to maybe more than 10 seconds. It could be a 11-second or more, 12-second reload. It's a reasonable speed. It's not high up on my list, but I am glad that I own it because I do like to use it to train my crew, which is why I own all the premium tanks. The Panzer S35 is not a good tank at all. It's the same as the Somua S35. It's a piece of junk. However, now that I've been playing it, I'm a lot better at it now. But you will die with this tank. People are going to hit this tank, and the armor is not that great. It is a rapid-fire gun, but the armor is not that great. The T-15 I do like to play. I seem to recall that I enjoy playing this tank. Or it could be the T-25. Yeah, it's a T-25 that I like to play. Like we spoke about the Skoda. This is kind of like the Skoda and the Chinukai. I do enjoy playing this tank. You can see it's got a top speed of 60. Let's check that Skoda. The Skoda is a little bit slower, but it's going to play the same way, and I seem to recall that I kind of enjoy taking it out. The Dicker Max, if you watch my videos, you'll know I hate to play TDs, although I have come to enjoy them a lot more. The Dicker Max has a really powerful gun. If you're playing in the same tier or you're the top tier, you're going to blow up a lot of tanks with this tank. It's a reasonable speed. I do enjoy playing it. It's not my favorite tank destroyer, but it's a pretty good tank. The Panther 8.8, I'm not that crazy about. It is a medium tank. I don't play it that often. I do seem to recall I actually get a lot of good games out of it. I think it is one of my best performing tanks, but I don't really enjoy playing it that much. However, it is similar to obviously the other Panther tanks. You can see the VK and the VK and the VK and the Panther. I do like playing the Panther too. The Low, I was one of the first tanks. The first month I was playing the game, I bought the Low. It's got a great deflection. It's got a very fast aiming gun. You're going to kill a lot of tanks with this, but it's very slow. When you play a game, everything you have to do, it's going to take a long time to get there. And you're not going to like going up hills and things like that. But for sniping, if you like to snipe and play tank destroyers, this is a great tank. The Japanese, I got the Chinukai. It's a spiffy little tank for its tier. It doesn't have a high top speed, but I do like playing it. It probably has a fast firing gun. Let's see. 12 means every 4 or 5 seconds. Yeah, that's pretty good. The HT number 6 is a Tiger tank, a German Tiger. I need to pause for a second. Okay, so the Tiger tank, at first I didn't like them, but after a while I started to enjoy them. They have really strong armor on them. The German tanks aim very quickly. They have really good guns. I do enjoy playing this tank, but I'm not excited when I take it out. It's not, I don't think it's the best Tiger tank. I think it's one of the other Tigers. Maybe it's a Tiger P, I'm not sure, but I am glad that I have it. The STA2, I do like to play the STA2. I played the STA1 and the STA2. They are similar. The STA2 is a great tank. In terms of Japanese tanks, you can see the tanks that I played. I do enjoy playing the STA2 more so than I enjoy playing the other tanks. When I go out with the STA2, I expect to have a good game. Now we'll get into the Chinese tanks. I just got the Type 64 recently. I like playing it. It's a fast tank. If you like light tanks, it's a great tank. I haven't had a lot of games with it yet. probably less than, probably 5 or less, or maybe 10 or less. But I am glad I bought it. It is a light tank, which means that your crew is only going to be able to train on the light tank line. You can see that I skipped the light tank line, and the reason why is because when you go the medium line, you're going to end up in the same place. It's because over here, if you take the Type 58, you can go medium and heavy, and you could get basically to the tier 10s. But if you go the light line, you can't get to the tier 10, the 113. So we've got the 112 and the T-34-3. They have the same gun. You're going to find the same gun on all the Chinese tanks. You're going to find the same gun over and over again and the same style. I like the 112. It's kind of like playing an IS-6 and the WZ-111 and the 110 and the IS-3 and that series of tanks. I enjoy playing it because it was one of the first tanks I played, so I got used to it. Some of these tanks have that angled armor. This one doesn't have it, but some of the other ones in the series do, like the 110 does. You can see that the 110 has that angled armor that comes to a point in the front. The T-34-3, I'm not that crazy about it. I haven't played it very often. I did buy it rather recently, and the 112. So I haven't gotten a lot of games on it. It is going to be a lot like the T-34-2. You can see that I do have both. I would take the 112 over the T-34-3, unless you really love medium tanks. So we'll go to my garage and we're going to look at my other premium tanks. Okay, the T-1E6 was a tank I got for free. It's not that great of a tank. It's nothing special about it. The T-7 combat car. This is a fun tank. It's got a long reload time, but you can go in your tier and just destroy tanks with this. You know, when tanks are in front of you, they have to run and hide. They have seconds to live when you're driving this tank. So if you can get your hands on one of these, I highly recommend it. The Ram 2, I haven't had that long. It's kind of like a Sherman tank, and it's a lot of fun. I get 5 and 6 kill games with this all the time. When I take it out, I expect to get a lot of kills. Got a fast-firing gun. The M46 Patton KR. This is like the Pershing. It's like the Super Pershing. I don't enjoy it that much. You know, I'm not that crazy about the Super Pershing. I'm glad that I have it, and I like to play it, but it's not my first choice of a tank. It's not my favorite tank, and neither is this. But you do come across a lot of them in the game. T-28 Concept. I won this doing the missions. The T-28 Concept. At first, I thought it was a horrible tank. But once I started to play it and started to realize how good it was, I absolutely loved this tank. This tank is a killing machine. It aims very quickly, it's got a powerful gun, and it's got pretty cool armor on it. It is slow. It takes a long time to get to where it's got to go, and it turns very slowly. But if you like to snipe, this is the one to do it. This might be one of the best American tank destroyers in terms of the ones that I've played. I don't know if we mentioned the Matilda Black Prince. It's like the Matilda 4. It's a great tank. TOG 2. This is an awesome tank. I love to play this tank. You can get a lot of kills, but you can't chase down the enemy. It's got a fast-firing gun. It's not invincible because artillery will shoot at you and tanks will gang up on you. The FV201A45. I have a high win rate with this tank. I love this tank. It's like a decked-out Black Prince. It's got the same specs, or it's like a Carnarvon. It's very similar to a base Carnarvon. I love to play this tank. I get a lot of good games. I think this is my highest performing tank. The first time I took it out, I got a game with base EXP of like 1750, which is just unbelievable. The 1850A, I think we already spoke about. The Skoda. Okay, so we got the Tetrarch. This was a gift tank, nothing special about it. BT-7 was a gift tank. This is, if you like the fast Russian tanks like the BT series, you're going to like this tank. It's pretty cool. What do we got next? I think we did these. Keep on moving. I know there's going to be some more. The Toldi is a German tank. Nothing special about it, but I do like it. If you're going up against other Tier 3 tanks, I haven't had it this long. This is, I think, a gift tank. I don't know where I got it, but I haven't had it that long. I do like it. I just haven't had enough games out of it to make a final decision. I already spoke. Oh, this tank. Okay, T15. It looks a lot like the Toldi. I don't know the difference between the two. I really don't know what to say about these two tanks. The Mutts. This is an awesome tank. I believe that this is another one of those tanks where I have a lot of experience. I get a lot of great games with the Mutts, and it's one of my higher performing tanks. So this is a great Tier 8 medium tank. Now, you remember I said for Tier 8, like with the Chinese, the T-34-2 or the whatever it's called, I said there's better medium tanks. This is the one. If you want a medium Tier 8 premium tank, Panzer Mutts is the way to go. It's not as fast as I want it to be, but it's a great tank. The Stug 4, the Stug 4 is a wonderful tank. It's a little slow, but if you like the Stug series, the Stug series was the most produced tank in World War II. It's an awesome tank. It looks really dumb. It's got a decent fire gun. I believe it's a rapid fire gun. Looks like 4 seconds per shot. It is not invincible. Tanks will shoot at this armor and they will destroy it. You're basically going to take 2 hits and you're done. So if you get hit once, you become a one-shot, and you got to watch out. The E-25. This is an awesome tank. If you like fast tanks like the ELC, you're going to love the E-25. It's a rapid fire gun. I once got 5 kills in 1 minute. Obviously, I didn't take them down from full health to 0. You can see the game on YouTube. But in 1 minute, I killed 5 tanks. It's a fun tank, low profile. Just like the Stug, if you get hit twice, you're dead. So you get hit once, you become a one-shot. You got to watch out, but it's very fast. It spins fast. You can chase tanks down. The Jag Tiger, it's got a fast-firing gun. It's supposed to have this amazing armor, but when I go up against them, I can't penetrate them, but people penetrate me all the time. 250 is pretty good, but it's not invincible. For some reason, people kill me with it. Maybe I haven't been paying attention to who's shooting at me, but when I go up against them, they're difficult to penetrate. Even with premium rounds and high explosive rounds, they're difficult to penetrate. However, I don't have the best luck. But I have had games where I sat there and people just kept shooting at me and they just kept pinging off of me. So I have had good games with it. It is slow. It's got a fast aiming gun. I do like playing it. The last tank is the WZ-111. This is like the IS-6 and the 112 and the 110. If you take the Chinese tanks, the 110, the 112, and the WZ, they're all essentially the same. They certainly have the same gun. You're going to find a slight difference in the armor. This is going to have better side armor. But other than that, they're essentially the same gun. I'm going to sneeze. It's a little bit faster, but I do like the tank. Okay, so those are all of my premium tanks. I hope you take some good information from them. You will make more money with these tanks. They are totally worth owning. There's a reason why I own all the premium tanks. I buy all of them. I advance my crews so fast you would not believe it. I'm at 4 crews on so many tanks because in a matter of a month you can go from 0 to 100% from the 3rd to the 4th skill just by having premium tanks. Oh, the Kanonen Jagdpanzer. I skipped that for some reason. We're going to go to Germany. The Kanonen Jagdpanzer. It's a fast tank. It's like a big E-25. It's like people say, it does not replace the E-25. It is fast. It's got a fast firing gun. It's like 6 seconds. It is very delicate. You will be blown up very easily. If you get hit once, you're going to become a one-shot. It doesn't have the mobility of the E-25, but I am glad that I have it. Okay, so if you have any other questions, please post below.